Hi everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Neverwinter Nights 2. So I think the last video was marginally better than the two before it, but worse than the previous recordings. So I think it must be the pop filter. I've taken the pop filter apart at every junction, put it back together and bolted it somewhere else. So hopefully this episode won't be so horrible. It's a bit less comfortable to play, so I'm a bit further back from the mic, so there might be more room noise, more fans, and so on. But we'll just have to do an episode and see how it comes out, I'm afraid. Might as well stop at the imps on the way.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh. Stop selecting him, I want to be Clara.
Yes.
Oh. I kind of
What's
figured
going on?
Clara would be able to do something. Maybe I need a knock spell?
Yes! How can I help?
That didn't seem to do anything. Nope, teleport to the king. Lord Nasher. Hey, I found enough clues to prove my innocence. If you're certain, but I wouldn't put it past those Luskans to find some counter-evidence, and then they'll have you executed. Are you sure? Let's do this. Alright then, let us take this to Nasher. I'm kind of over the Magic Forest by now. My game of Dark Heresy had even worse design than that. It was so bad, I got in a big sulk. I didn't sulk out loud because I was on a microphone and turned it off. But rest assured, I was sulking. Sulking off camera effectively.
Lord Nasher Alagandar, Defender of Neverwinter, and Reverend Judge Olef Uskar, Lord Justiciar of Tyr.
Bring in the accused. Reverend Judge, let the trial commence.
We are gathered here to determine the truth of the crime committed in the small village of Ember. Its people slaughtered to the last man, woman, and child. Under Tyr's guidance shall the truth of this matter be revealed, and justice delivered. Is the accuser here?
I speak for those the accused slaughtered at Ember, and I am here to see that justice is carried out this day.
Okay, well the implication of these options is that she has spoken out against her remit. Although it sounds okay to me. So I am innocent, so I don't need to be sort of snarky, do I? That's not really going to help my case, I don't think. We don't want to be threatening, because if we're violent, everyone will assume, oh, he's violent, he could have murdered people. So, I think one of these two. And the judge already knows that no guilty verdict has been issued. We don't need to tell him that. We're all here to see that justice is carried out this day, Ambassador.
And is the accused here? And his defender?
We are present and eager to bring the truth of this matter into Tyr's sight, Reverend Judge.
Very well. We now list the items presented by the accused in their defense, and they will be shown to the people of the court, Lord Nasher, and held aloft for the eye of Tyr to see. First off,
It may take a while for them to get through all the evidence, bless it, and the rest of the ritual nonsense, so if you have anything you want to ask, now's the best time.
Okay, I'd like to say we kind of spoke out of turn rather than her, so I'm glad we didn't go with one of those options. Because we hadn't been addressed yet. I don't want to be a dick to Sand in a trial. That's a terrible idea. Do you have any advice for me, Sand?
Torio is an arrogant creature, but she is not a Luskan ambassador for nothing. This court is her theater, her arena, and she has had years of experience in treachery and twisting words. While evidence helps a case, she knows it is often the drama, the belief of everyone here as to who is guilty and who is not that will ultimately win the day. Do not forget that the rabble are here today to see someone hang. Unless you can convince them that you have been wronged, and grievously so, it is an uphill battle you fight.
That's a terrible law system. You should be innocent until proven guilty, especially if you're going to hang me for it. You have to be pretty convinced I've done it. And we should only have to introduce reasonable doubt. But obviously, Tyr isn't that good a god. I mean, if Torm was in charge, I'm sure that's how it would roll. But we'll just have to go with it for now. What strategy would you suggest, Sand?
It is somewhat unorthodox, but playing upon the animosity between Luskan and Neverwinter may help you.
That's a good plan, because we deliberately worked to get the trial held here in Neverwinter, so we might as well take all the benefits that brings with us. You don't sound too convinced of this plan, though, Sand.
But that will only go so far, and may even help Torio in convincing the court that your actions may have been an attempt to start another war which no one in Neverwinter wants. I cannot give you a clear strategy, but remember that trading diplomatic words with Torio will be difficult. Do not resort to such a duel unless you feel you can absolutely win. And do not threaten her or try to bluff her unless you are equally certain. If you fail, you are bound for the gallows for certain.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Threats are going to not help us, and I'm not very good at bluffing, so I probably shouldn't bluff. So no lies, no threats. I've got to agree with that plan. Yeah, I agree with your advice, I think. I'll heed it.
Well, I'm glad someone does. I occasionally have a good idea, you know.
And, Sand, thanks for representing me.
Oh, well, you're welcome. But really, no thanks needed. I assure you, this is a labor of love, and I relish the thought of seeing Luskan lose face, and possibly Torio losing her head. Come, let us deliver some humiliations, one arrow at a time. It looks like they have finished dispensing the evidence.
Then that is the evidence before us.
Ah, that went over well. I think we've done some damage to their case, and put a nice little twist of the dagger in Torio's side.
The accuser, Ambassador Torio Claven of Luskan, may now call witnesses to the stand.
I think we have seen enough of these objects and speculation. Let us hear from those who witnessed the truth.
So presumably this is the woman in the cell. And she didn't believe us, but I didn't find an option to rough her up or anything. Yeah, the objects aren't speculation. The objects are objective facts. The witness is speculation, isn't it? There's no point in going for a skill check, because we'll just fail. Intimidate is a bad idea. She's probably better at twisting words than I am, so we're not going to go down the route of trying to do that. I could use my faith to the gods, couldn't I? Everyone knows that I follow Torm to the letter. I would probably, if this gives an option to, it's like in a job interview, if you finish the job interview by asking anything that they'd like to expand upon or that they have any more questions for, you can kind of address the problems you've created in your own job interview. So why don't we go down that? Are you saying this evidence is questionable, Torio?
It is not my place to say, and I would not dare presume. It is for the people of Neverwinter, their lord, and the gods to determine.
Do not play her game. She not only looks like a snake, but she speaks like one too. If you let her bait you, she'll soon have the court hypnotized.
I understand that you wish to stall the witnesses about to speak, but there is really nothing more your wordplay can do to prevent it. Another witness, yes, and a most important one, Reverend Judge. Unknown to many, the people of Ember were not slaughtered to the last woman and child.
We should have slaughtered her. I knew we should have done. I didn't have a fucking option. And also, that didn't go very well. Clearly, I assume this trial always goes the same way. No matter what options we choose, the outcome will probably be the same. Maybe there are sort of varying degrees of success or failure. I mean, I think it's pretty unlikely that you get put in a cell and that's the end of the game. It's pretty unlikely you're going to hang and that's the end of the game. So we probably have some degree of success at the trial. Maybe you can get her hanged if you do well, and she doesn't get hanged if you don't. Or she leaves Neverwinter in disgrace and is no longer the ambassador or something. So we do need to play along. But equally, we are not in control of the trial. We're just going to be swept along by what happens, and trying to raise points obviously isn't an option that's presented to us. There are set points in this trial where we can have a response, but places like that, it looks like we just, I don't really want to say train lined into it, or whatever the expression is, because it's probably not an accurate way of trying to express what I'm trying to express here, which I'm not doing very well. But just trying to call her out on things isn't going to work. So let's not do it. And we know that she's wrong. So actually we do want her to take the stand, as long as we've got some evidence, and it's only speculation that why would they let you live? But we did talk to her, so we do have some benefits in this situation, so we do want her interviewed. But we don't say this can't be good, because that's pessimistic, and the crowd will feed on that. So, the Luskans must have gotten to Elaine.
I call on Elaine, the last living resident of Ember, to speak on what she saw that fateful day. Elaine, thank you for coming here. I know how difficult it must be, but you realize that you are the only voice of Ember that survived that terrible tragedy. Now, please tell the court what you saw.
I saw the accused. They're at Ember. He killed them all.
Elaine, no.
How about my powder? Have I still got my powder? Chandra, do you have something to interject?
Look, when you get the chance, ask her if I would ever travel with someone who would do that, and where we were when it occurred.
This isn't good. We need to change the course of the river streaming from her eyes, or we're all going to hang.
Yeah, this is all emoting, not debating. But we have some evidence. We have the powder that we got from the forest. Look, this woman survived Ember. How?
Reverend Judge, may the witness please be allowed to speak without the accused attempting to interfere?
The accused will refrain from interruptions until the witness has spoken.
Okay, we don't want to get done for contempt of court, so we'll let her speak, but we want to ask questions after Torio's had her show.
Go on, Elaine. Tell us what you saw.
All those people. and they had no weapons. They had no way of fighting back.
But the accused slaughtered them all, did he not?
Yes, I saw it all. I took refuge in Port Last. There was nowhere left for me to go.
You are safe now, Elaine, and the accused cannot harm you here. What more proof is needed? We have a witness that saw the accused perform the deed. Perhaps we should move on to the sentence now. The accused's guilt is plain.
No, that's not true. I've got some fucking transmutation dust. I have some fucking questions.
Of course. Please, the trap has already closed. There is no squirming out of it now.
What about this fucking powder? Can I fucking mention that, please? How did you survive Ember without a scratch?
Go on. Elaine, tell them the tale.
I was coming back to Ember. In fact, I was not in Ember when it was attacked. I saw the flames first, and then the shapes, moving through the village, cutting people down. It was terrible to watch.
Okay, and these were about 20 human shapes. They were not a gnome, they were not a plane touched. So how can I address that? But you stayed and watched the Ember slaughter anyway. That's convenient.
Stop doing that. Those were her friends who died.
I stayed and watched because I could not turn away. And I was too frightened to act. I should have done something, but I could not move.
Okay, but why don't I have the question about how many fucking people she saw? I know I'm not got very high intelligence, but what the fuck was the point in interviewing her and finding discrepancies in her argument if I can't fucking bring them up? What did you see when you came upon Ember, exactly?
You! Cutting them down.
Any other questions? Please, go on and ask.
This isn't a kangaroo court, because the main character's been dropped on his fucking head. Why did I bother interviewing her? I found discrepancies in her fucking story. Why can't I bring them up? This is fucking shit. Elaine, do you know this woman here, Chandra?
You know I do. You brought her to Port Last.
Can you speak of her character? Is she a good person? A friend?
Yes, I know her well, as a matter of fact. She stopped in Ember during trade season. Not once, but many times.
Okay, so we can now discuss who is travelling with me, even though that should have been the first fucking question. Then why would you attack her? Which is the best option? One of these two, obviously. And do you know that she's been travelling with me for some time now? In fact, I was rescuing her on my way through Ember.
No, I did not know that.
Reverend Judge, I fail to see where this line of questioning is going.
Chandra here was travelling with me at the time Ember was attacked. Why would your friend do that?
Elaine, listen to me. Something's wrong. Whoever did what they did at Ember, it wasn't who you think it was. I would know.
Enough! The accused has only one counsel, and only he shall speak to the witness.
Oh, Ambassador, I freely forfeit the right to question the witness when Chandra here is speaking. I really have no choice.
Elaine, we weren't even at Ember when it happened, or anywhere near there. Are you sure you saw us?
I think I did. Or, well, someone who looked very much like the accused.
What?
Okay, how about the powder? Can I bring up the powder now, please? I did fucking do a quest in a fucking anti-magic forest so I could actually get it. Yeah, it could have been someone who looked like me.
Forget this. Clearly the witness is too distraught to give her testimony properly. So let's choose someone who's not affected by Ember at all. Someone the accused knows all too well. I call forth Chandra Jarrow.
What?
I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished. This is fucking shit. Sure, feel free to speak to Torio.
I'd rather spit on her. Besides, there's nothing to testify about.
Come now, Chandra. Don't be afraid. We are in a court of law. You may speak freely here.
About what? About these false accusations?
No, I am interested only in your interactions with the accused. You travel with him, do you not?
I do.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever observed the accused causing, or near, any acts that compare to the destruction at Ember?
I really don't think that...
Answer the question.
No.
Not even your home?
Well, yes. But that was different. There were...
And wasn't your home attacked twice, and is now burned to the ground?
Well, yes, but that was after...
Next time when I ask you a question, I want you to answer it, Chandra, without objecting or giving me exceptions. You are safe here, and you need not fear the accused anymore. Because you see, what I am most concerned about, Chandra, is what you think. What you really think of the accused. We know something of his activities in Neverwinter already, as well as the lands around. So think carefully before you answer.
Hope you've been treating her well. She's about to come clean.
Is he someone who might do such a thing?
No, he is a noble man, someone of great character. To hear him slandered like this makes me angry at the injustice of it.
Angry enough to attack? To kill those who stand against the accused? I see.
I wanted to.
If you are accusing me of what happened at Ember...
I make no such accusations. But trouble does follow the accused, oddly enough. Perhaps you are blinded. One can often be in shock after the destruction of one's home. Thank you for all your help, Chandra. I think this matter will soon be brought to a close.
I hope you get what you deserve, Ambassador.
My dear, all I want is justice.
I wish I could play this game for more than 20 minutes without it being fucking terrible. What was the point of going to the forest and getting the powder? Would that not have been a pretty fucking opportune time to bring that up? How about interviewing the woman and her saying that there are about 20 human figures? What the fuck was the point of interviewing her if I don't get to bring it up? Why? Why would your character not bring it up? I appreciate that they won't take it to a set conclusion, which kind of negates the point in playing, but what was the point? What was the point in going to the anti-magic forest and getting the powder if I can't bring it up? What was the point of interviewing her in the jail cell if I can't bring the discrepancies up? I think that's the whole thing about this game, is they should have cut out everything that doesn't matter. Cut out Highcliffe altogether. You couldn't be fucking bothered to program a single house into it. Well, no, you did one. You couldn't be bothered to program two. Cut it out. There was no point in going to the anti-magic zone, so just cut that out. This trial doesn't work. Just cut it out. Okay, can I call my witnesses now? Like the fucking first one that I haven't finished with?
In a moment. But there's one more witness who's critical to this case. Why, I call the accused as a witness, of course.
And what questions do you have for me?
My question is a simple one. Why did you kill the people of Ember?
Okay, so this just comes down to rolling a fucking die, which I'm not very good at. I had nothing to do with what happened at Ember.
Why do you continually deny your crime? All you need to do is answer for it, and you will cease to be troubled by it.
And if you are not troubled by it, then what kind of a monster are you? To kill a whole village of people without conscience, without remorse!
What happened to the people of Ember touches me greatly. Those people did not deserve to die as they did, and if there was anything I could have done to prevent it, I would have.
Noble words, while your hands are still stained with blood. No more questions, Reverend Judge. No more questions, Reverend Judge.
Very well, Ambassador. The accused may now present their witnesses.
May I? I have a brief opening speech with some cutting barbs prepared, but if you'd rather be found innocent as quickly as possible...
Well, obviously I want to be found innocent as quickly as possible, don't I? Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear your turn, Sand.
Thank you, Reverend Judge, Lord Nasher, and fine people of Neverwinter. These allegations are a farce, my lord. I mean to show you the innocence of this man, a squire of Neverwinter, and the falsehood of the accusations against him. The evidence of the ambassador from Luskan is a transparent, ill-conceived ploy to destroy the life of one of Neverwinter's loyal servants.
The accused has only been a squire for a short time, conveniently promoted after the massacre of the people of Ember. Perhaps as a reward?
Ambassador, you have had your say. Now it is time for the accused to speak. And as for you, Sand, I would refrain from such accusations without first presenting proof.
My lord, the difference is, in my statements can be found the truth. I was going to call Callum of the Neverwinter 9, the commander you met in Old Owl Well after the victory there. His voice carries a great deal of weight.
That's a good idea. I don't know when you got around to doing that, but I wish I'd thought of that. Good idea, Sand. Although I was building my case on actual evidence, wasn't I? And not just emoting. But that's fine. That's a good idea. Call him forward, Sand.
For our first witness, I summon Callum of Neverwinter 9, fresh from his victory over the vicious orc tribes in Old Owl Well. Lord Callum, none can doubt your service and loyalty to Neverwinter, your successful defense of our sovereign lands. You have met the accused before, have you not?
He was a great help to me in defeating the orc bands at Old Owl Well in earlier months. Were it not for his assistance, the well would now be held by the orcs. The soldiers of Neverwinter and the realm itself owe a deep debt of gratitude to him, and it is a travesty that these foul charges have been levied against him.
Thank you, Lord Callum. We are ever grateful to hear the words of one of the 9.
Lord Callum, I have heard you express that the charges in this court are a travesty, and that they are unwarranted.
That is true. I feel the charges are unfounded.
Is it because they are given by Luskan?
Luskan has much to gain by casting down heroes of Neverwinter. Do I trust that Luskan brings such charges in good faith? I do not. Nor do I trust your motives, Ambassador. There is a reason that low justice and high justice were divided by the Luskan-Neverwinter Treaty, and I do not believe that any Luskan court or advocate has justice on their mind.
But you do know that the voice of the accused's counsel is from Luskan, do you not? From the ranks of the Hosthour of the Arcane, before he fled?
That banshee!
No, I did not.
Okay, again, this is just emoting. It's not an actual fact. Well, it is a fact, I presume. Sans implication. I know it has the word intimidate and a skill roll associated with it, and I'll fail. But I think the best point here is that if people from Luskan shouldn't be trusted, then you can't trust the Luskan ambassador.
Yes, but Ember lies in Luskan lands, and if your problem is with Luskan, well, if all of the Neverwinter 9 feel this way, perhaps that would be motive enough for an attack. Merely an observation, Lord Callum. You may be above such things, despite your words, but perhaps other knights are not so noble. I thank Lord Callum for his time, Reverend Judge. My questions have been answered to my satisfaction.
I see Naya, the herbalist we helped in port last. I was thinking about bringing her to the stand. She could be good for our defense.
Yeah, that's a good point, Sand. Bring her forward.
The accused calls Naya, resident of Port Last. Naya, you encountered the accused in Port Last, did you not?
That's correct. I remember the accused well.
Well met again, Naya.
And well met to you. It is good to see your face again.
Could you tell us what happened?
I have been at Port Last for the past season to help fortify the town's defense. Though my duties occupied all of my time, I was concerned about the unburied bodies in Ember. I knew from a former acquaintance, a follower of Kelemvor, that after dying such violent deaths, it was possible they could arise as undead. But I could not see to them and could not convince anyone to help until the good squire came.
Sometimes sacrifice is required, and I'm always willing to help the good people of Neverwinter when I can.
The squire agreed to put the dead to eternal rest.
To hide the evidence, perhaps? This is meaningless.
Actually, I think I found some evidence. Maybe I should present that evidence. Oi, that's offensive to my faith and disrespectful to the dead of Ember. What?
I meant no offense to your faith or to Tyr himself. I seek only the truth in this case, not to speak of the dead with harsh words. Now, are you done attempting to hold off a verdict? Or are you ready at last to face justice?
No, at least one more witness, I think, and we shall close the curtain on this stage. Chandra, please come forward.
Sand, no!
If you can help, Chandra, please do.
All right. Go on, Sand. Ask your questions.
Chandra, you know the accused. You have traveled with him, have you not?
I have.
And this crime of which he is accused? As one who knew the people of Ember, of Port Last, do you really think him capable of such a crime?
No, not at all. Look, don't get me wrong. Trouble seems to come at his heels. But it's how he deals with those troubles that makes me say no. He keeps trying to make things right, even when things are at their worst. And it's really hard not to admire that and stick by it no matter what.
I think that says it all, Chandra. Thank you. I have no more witnesses, Lord Nasher.
The parties have spoken. Now all that remains is judgment to be passed. Lord Nasher.
I expect Lord Nasher has already come to the correct decision.
I certainly hope so. It's evident this was a conspiracy to frame a loyal squire of Neverwinter as a criminal of the worst sort.
Silence, Sand. I have heard enough from you, and from you, Torio. And it is enough for me to reach a decision. It is important to remind myself, after hearing the testimony, that this is not about Luskan and Neverwinter, but about the people of Ember. As much as it pains me to say it, there is not enough to declare the accused innocent of the crime. I give the accused to Luskan, to be given low justice in accordance with our treaty.
What? No!
Hells, I didn't want to do this, but I invoke the right of appeal, the right of trial by combat. It is still on the Neverwinter law books, is it not, Reverend Judge?
We might actually stand a chance in this, especially if it's to chop down Torio. But that was an option all along?
What is this? Justice has been served, and now you wish to debate it with violence? How Neverwinter of you. But I believe the Reverend Judge will see this ploy for what it is. Justice has already been served in this court. I think...
The accused has the right.
Oh. Well, that's the best option we've got, because if we go into low justice at the hands of the Luskans, they'll just hang me for fun. So I accept.
This is ridiculous. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Justice has not had its say yet, Ambassador. Now it is time for you to meet the accused in a more honest arena, so I suggest you prepare yourself for battle, Torio. It's a much different arena than you're used to, I'm afraid.
No! I will answer as her champion, in Ember's name.
A champion has been declared. Both the defender and the accused are required by law to report to the Temple of Justice in Neverwinter, to undergo the rite of Tyr, to cleanse themselves in a night of prayer and vigilance. The following morning, the champions shall meet in combat so that justice may be decided.
So be it. After the rite is observed, the trial shall be held in the morning upon the tourney grounds. Arm yourself and be ready, squire, or choose a champion to fight for you. I have no choice in this matter. It is the law, and it must be upheld despite what I believe.
So, it seems this will be decided with blood. If that is what it takes to win the day, then that is what we must do. When you are prepared, go to the Hall of Justice and speak with Prior Ham to start the rite of Tyr.
Oh, well, that seems like a good place to call an end to the episode. That should have been a lot more enjoyable than it was. But all the gathering evidence just came down to you present it and then it's immediately forgotten. And I appreciate that they had to take you to this point. But they could have at least presented the option in the text, even though it would do nothing. And these aren't plot holes. This is what I spent the last 5, 6, 7 episodes doing. It would have been nice to actually have the option of that in the text. So I'm going to go calm down and wash the Neverwinter Nights 2 off my brain, and then I'll be back to face justice. Thank you for watching. Actually, I'd never finished. The reason my Dark Heresy game was shit is because we got knocked out, we woke up in a dark room with all our stuff missing. No, you're not going to get it back. That's absolutely fucking terrible. Especially as we spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours last week buying stuff. Now it's all gone. I mean, what the fuck was the point in that? It's just pathetic. Now I'm even more angry than I was just now.